I want to begin by addressing all the young men who for so long have been listening to voices leading them further away from themselves. You may think this does not apply to you, but it very likely does. For over a decade, we have been watching you, young men, drifting in the uncertainty and confusion of a world that feels very much like it is escaping you. The promise of a secure life, of love, happiness, and peace seem at worst like a lie that never existed, or at best a fantasy that can never be achieved. You have seen your parents suffer and struggle while they repeat the lessons they learned in their youth to you as advice. But even as you listen to them trying so very hard to guide you, you begin to realize what all young men learn as they emerge unprepared from childhood into the crushing responsibilities and unrelenting demands of adulthood. That none of us ever had all of the answers. That we are all struggling just like you to figure out our universe and to maneuver a world far less compassionate and caring of us as human beings and of you as men than was sold. So many people have lied to you in their offerings of solutions, answers to your questions, and strategies for moving forward. They fail you because what they teach is not meant for you to grow strong and independent, but for them to dominate your mind and heart. They are not molding you into men. They are reducing you to tin soldiers for a war of their own making, a war that has never been real, and for which there has never been any hope of winning. Their victories come in the form of grift and manipulation. They win when they are paid and when their wealth is great and the empire they are building collapses, they exit rich, while you are abandoned in no better shape than when you joined their broken movement. We see you very clearly. Young warriors of your life's journey, philosophers, artists, workers and students, young men of great potential merely seeking a way to realize it and live in the way you were promised. But you see with your own eyes, the promise is nowhere near fruition. Rather than building a sustainable future for yourself, you have been cast unprepared into an abyss that has not satisfied any of your desires, but has instead filled you with uncertainty, rage, and fear. They have cast you upon a path without a compass, where you wander a desert of shadows parched for purpose, for strength, for meaning. And though wells rise before you, they are not gifts of life, but pits of poison, offering the illusion of power, yet leaving only the echo of emptiness in your soul. They told you that swallowing the red pill would lead you to success and completion, but you can feel it inside of you, that it comforts you at first, but then it crashes you, and they feed you another dose. You are energized when they speak to you, and when they say the things you can't or won't or are too afraid to say. But when you are alone with your thoughts, and the reality that your life is nothing like theirs, you slip into a place of utter desolation. They will tell you that there is a blue pill out there as well, a feminist, woke, liberal pill that they tell you will emasculate you and turn you beta. Why do you believe then that such pills, whether red or blue, exist. It is not that much of a mystery. It is because both pills that they portray are grounded in certain truths that you recognize when you hear them. There are ultra-feminist movements that seek to emasculate men. There are people who embrace the extremes of liberal ideologies that do not necessarily conform to your life choices. There are roles for which men are better suited, and it is true that on average, men tend to be far stronger than women. Throughout history, men have borne the responsibility of protecting their families, communities, and countries. But these are truths that are not drawn in clear lines in all situations, and a world can exist where truths are not recognized, but differing points of view can add value if one knows how. From my layer of the world, I hold a very different view from those attempting to seize control of yours. To us, oligarchs and shadow masters weaving illusions will create false prophets who speak of strength while teaching weakness, who promise freedom while locking chains around your ankles and wrists. They are merchants of anger, harvesting the desperation of the young, feeding you anxieties, burdens, and fears and suspicions that require specific intellectual and psychological tools to understand. How they speak to you is no different than the preacher who gives you a version of the Bible that makes Shakespeare's writing seem like kindergarten readers, but then tells you not to worry, because his Bible study will explain it all to you, so you don't have to read the Word. I have seen the list of works they recommend, but they do not offer any meaningful guidance on understanding the content of these books. I know that as young men, or boys who soon will be, you are intrigued, curious, and interested in what the ancients had to say, but you struggle with reading such complex texts. You are confused when they tell you that you are or can be a warrior, an alpha, a hero of your own destiny and journey. Yet despite all assurances, you do not truly feel that it is true. I will tell you this. It can be true, but only if you understand the true whole nature of what this journey entails and how to undertake it correctly and fully. They have only given you bits and pieces, broken snippets taken out of context and distorted so that you become dependent on them to keep feeding your addiction to their poisoned pills. Now comes the time for us all to listen well. For what you will learn here every day will not come from books alone, but from the observations of the eternal patterns that flow beneath the surface of all human struggle throughout time. This is what my layer of the world has gathered. It is what has separated us from the confusing and hopeless layer of the world that oligarchs and fascists have built for you. We do not want you to feel lost, incomplete, or in a state of perpetual searching for promises that will never be kept. Before we begin your new journey, your transformation, and the fulfillment of your self-made destiny, I must wean you off the red and blue pill addiction they feed you. You must see that what they are turning you into is not an independent man of strength and wisdom, but a lost, enraged seeker of an empty existence. I know that it sounds harsh, but a true man is never afraid to hear the harsh truths and let what comes fuel their journey toward wisdom.